time bomb. Always seem to get the time wrong. Time wrong, I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. A broken state, shaking the ground beneath, running from everything, seems to be the path I lead. And now I'm beating on the floor, wondering why I feel like a ticking time bomb. Time bomb, always seem to get the time wrong. Time wrong, I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. I took a shot on hoping I never change. I wonder why I'm always broken. Stuck in time just like I'm frozen, frozen. Now I'm slowly thinking, a product of overthinking again. Hold it in and change my breathing. Settle down and stop repeating amends. I feel like a ticking time bomb. Time bomb. Always seem to get the time wrong. Time wrong. I blow up and then they're all gone, all gone. So sick of saying hold on, hold on. I feel like a ticking time bomb.
Hello, guys. Wait, bear with me. Oh, no, I've clicked the wrong button. No, 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 don't. Ah, no. I pressed the wrong button. Are we still live, or have I bottled it?
Can an ice cream make your
Oh my
moment
god,
go?
I can an ice cream save my fucking life. Guys, are we still live? I think I may have accidentally ended the stream. Can you guys still hear me? I accidentally clicked the stop streaming button when I meant to click the other button. Let me know if you guys can still hear me, please. Are we still live? Are we still live, guys? Please, let me know. I don't think we are. I can say anything I want then. I can say literally anything I want. What am I going to say? Because no one's here. We are still live. Okay, never mind. I won't say what I want. There we go. Apologies for that, guys. I panicked and I accidentally clicked the stop streaming button and I spammed no, don't. But then it said stop, so and then click start again. Right, apologies. Yeah, we're back. Okay, guys, ignore everything that has happened. Apologies for, first of all, apologies for that shambolic start, but also apologies for being 45 minutes late. This is Touchline Talk at 2 on a Tuesday. You'll appreciate it's 2:45. You can blame LB for that, because we were supposed to have an LBins earlier today, and I was waiting for him, and I was waiting for him, and I was waiting for him. I even called him up, and he was like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. I was like, brilliant. So I tried to squeeze in a gym sesh, and that's why I'm late. So it was either that or I go like at 11 tonight and I couldn't be bothered. So I apologise for that. We're slightly later, but blame LB for that, yeah? The fraud, the swine, he was having a shower when I called him. That's not good enough, yeah? Yeah? Yeah, anyway. Apologies for that shambolic start. So let's get into today. What I want to talk about today is the Juma Bar situation that's just transpired. I want us to discuss the Al Ain game. That rhymes. What did we learn from it? Again, similar to the game against, oh my god, who was the first team we played against? Wydad, yeah? What did we learn from it? And that sort of thing. You know, what were the, who were the decent performers? Were there any not so decent performers? Why was that the case? Can we learn anything from the shape, the system, etc. that was deployed? Even though I am a shambolic fraudster, leave a like on the video, because it's free. And as I say, blame LB for me being late because we were supposed to do an LBins at 12 today, and he forgot about it. So that's his fault. Yeah, that's his fault. So as I say, let's start. Shall we? Shall we start with the news, perhaps? The bar news, maybe. Actually, before I do that, let me catch up on the chat. Because as I say, apologies. Yeah, we are still live. Thank you guys very much. If you are a member, you will notice that you've got a new badge. So check out your badge. I've updated the sub badges to something prettier. We've also got new emotes as well. So if you're a member, feel free to explore those. I was about to say some criminal shit, exactly. Hello, Kat. How you doing? Big up to you, Herbal. I don't care how it's pronounced, Faisal. I don't care how it's pronounced. I'm calling them Y Dad. That's what they get for getting my lovely Rico Lewis sent off. They can hold that, honestly. They can hold that. More like Sly Dad. Am I right? We will stream today at 7 p.m. on the Twitch. Kiwi, thank you so much for following the channel. Again, apologies for being late. We'll still have a 90-minute or so stream, so don't worry about that. Yeah, so let's start with the match, shall we? And let's start with the bar news first of all, and then we'll get into the match, perhaps. So let's start with Juma Bar. So it's been confirmed today by Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio, that Juma Bar from Man City to Nice. Here we go. Verbal agreement done for the defender to join the club on loan. Lyon and Nice wanted Bar, but the player has decided to proceed with Nice. And that is a nice deal. Nice are my French team, by the way. Big up to Nice. I have a Nice top. It's a very beautiful kit. This is very good for a number of reasons, which I'm going to get into. In the first instance, it's good for Bar, regardless of where he was going to go, whether it was Nice or Lyon, in a vacuum. Bar going out on loan is the best thing that could happen for him. He was out on loan last season. In fact, I believe last season was his first ever season in a top league. He was technically out on loan to the Spanish side. I can't recall. Was it Real Vallecano? I can't remember. Went to Lyon. Went to Lyon on loan. And I know that he said, I think I want to play for City in the transfer window or whatever. That was never going to happen unless there was a mass exodus of centre-backs at City. No one's left so far. Literally no one has left. So right now, if he stayed, this would be the state of play. Diaz is ahead of him. Gvardiol is ahead of him. Kusanov is ahead of him. If he's staying and is able to be somewhat fit, Stones is ahead of him. Likewise, Ake. Likewise, Akanji. One could make an argument that even Hayes is ahead of him because he's obviously played a bit more football for City than Bar, who's obviously played 0. So you've got minimum 5, maybe more like 7 players ahead of him. And sure, I appreciate that Ake can play left back and Akanji can play right back and but we've got to be somewhat realistic here. Bar's not going to get any meaningful game time at City unless there is a mass exodus of centre-backs. I think all three of Valladolid, thank you, Faisal. All three of Ake, Stones, Akanji, I think, would have to leave for there to be a semblance of a chance of him getting realistic game time. So I don't think it would have made any sense for him to stay when we are trying to go for the title. It's not really the time to be trying to bed in a young, inexperienced centre-back, is it? It doesn't make any sense. Once again, Diaz and Gvardiol are always going to be ahead of him. Kusanov is also ahead of him, and even he is young. It's more like he's the sort of young player we want to be bedding in, not a Bar. So it makes perfect sense to send him out on loan. It also makes we're still in a vacuum, by the way. It also makes perfect sense to send him out on loan to League 1. This is probably, from a Premier League player's perspective, the best league to develop in. Why? Because it's an incredibly physical league. The Premier League is also a very physical league. I'm not saying that Bar needs to, improve from a physicality perspective because he's got that in abundance. But it's almost like the perfect development platform to shift Liga into the Premier League. He needs to be starting consistently. Hopefully he's going to get that at Nice. So I'm very happy that he's having another period of time in Liga. So that'll be 1.5 years, won't it? That's the first thing to say. The other good thing to say, though, about this deal, and this is actually what I'm most excited about, is the fact that it's not to Lyon. Now, why am I excited that he's not going to Lyon? There's nothing against Lyon. I was a little bit... Well, first of all, I was very excited when it was revealed that as part of the Cherki deal, City basically had to send them a player. I believe those are the... Can you guys correct me if I'm wrong? That's basically the... That's the state of play, right? Or allegedly, we've got to send them a player out on loan. Got to. It's a good thing. I believe that's confirmed. I don't think that's just paper talk. I believe that's the state of play. Very excited by that prospect for the reasons I've just outlined. Liga, great league to go to. That just, to me, that seemed like a massive waste to give that slot to Bar. It just seems like a massive waste. I wanted it to be... I preferably wanted it to be more of an attacking player, whether that's Naipan or Echeverry or not attack player, or Hayes, whoever. Now that can happen. Because as I understand it, that Lyon situation hasn't changed. So now that's telling me we can now get 2 players loaned out to Liga, which is fantastic. So Bar's going to get to develop, but that means we can send another player out to France to develop. So for me, this is best case scenario, and I'm really happy he's going to the French league, but not Lyon, because it means we can send someone else to Lyon. Now, who should that player be? If that is the state of play, here you guys, alternative fact saying he was supposed to send a player on loan according to Romano. Great. So if that's the state of play, that's wonderful. Who is the player we should be sending out on loan becomes the next question. There is a discussion about it potentially being Hayes. Vitor Hayes. He doesn't necessarily have to be starting week in, week out, but there is a similar issue for him that Bar would have had. He's not going to play over Diaz, or Gvardiol, or Kusanov, or Akanji, or Stones, or Ake if the latter 3 stay at the club, and if they are available. It's not going to happen. So a lot depends on transfer activity. So I wouldn't be against Hayes leaving, but I wouldn't mind if he stayed either, because I do think he's got a very high ceiling. It's just whether is he going to get sufficient game time at City this season. I can definitely see it next year if all 3 of Akanji, Ake, and Stones all leave. That's a maybe. That's a maybe. Bob has been suggested. He's been floated as an option. That's mental. No, he's staying at City. He needs to be staying at City and playing consistently. So let's get rid of the notion of sending Bob out on loan immediately. 2 options for me. Naipan, which seems like pretty obvious because he's a young player that we've just signed. He's not going to get any minutes at City. He should be going out on loan anyway. The one that I would really push is Echeverry, to be honest with you. I think that Echeverry, and some of you guys have already said, like Faisal's already said it, alternative facts as well. I really like the concept of Echeverry. I like the idea of Echeverry as a player. And there is absolutely a wonderful player in there. We'll get on to the Al Ain performance later, but he obviously scored a wonderful free kick goal. A little bit quiet aside from that, but irrelevant. It was still a lovely goal. He's illustrated that from a talent perspective, there is no doubt he will make it at the highest level. I've got no doubt about that. He can't do it right now. It's not good enough right now. Why can't he develop into that player? Answer, he can develop into that player. But that's the key term, develop. He isn't that player right now. I think he needs a development league. He needs a development situation. He's had a season. I think that's a perfect comment as well, Faisal. I was just about to bring this up. Yes, definitely. In my Echeverry analysis video, I stated that whilst I don't think he's a physical liability by any means, like he's incredibly gutsy, he's incredibly dynamic, he'll always fight, there is no doubt that he is... frail is not the right word, but he's not strong. He's not a beastie boy, let's put it that way. It's a very different level of physicality going from Argentina to the Premier League. Liga would be a perfect development ground for him from my perspective. So I would love that. It also makes sense because Lyon have just lost a 10, a creative player, an attacking player, an attacking midfielder, whatever. That's what Echeverry is. It seems like a really nice like-for-like swap and trade, and I would really, really like that for him. It's... the other thing is, if we didn't sign Cherki, then I could see him getting some meaningful minutes in the side. I don't know where the minutes are coming from, especially if, like, Gundogan, for example, came out yesterday or today saying, I've got another year on my contract, I see myself here at the highest level, I'm not going anywhere. Bernardo's been made the captain. Where's he going to play? He's not going to be playing ahead of Gundogan in a more advanced role. He's not going to be playing ahead of Foden if he plays a more advanced role. He's not going to be playing ahead of Cherki. If we're talking about the wings, he's not playing ahead of Bob. Even if the centre, he's not going to play ahead of Bob. If we're talking about the wings, he's not going to play ahead of Bob or Savio or Marmoush or Doku. There's very minimal opportunity for him, I think, at City right now, based on the level he's currently on right now. So I would love to see him get that meaningful time somewhere else. That's Lyon. Bulk up a bit, but maybe bulk up's not the right term. Get used to the physicality a little bit. Come back after a full season in a top 5 league, and then let's reassess what the state of play is. Because by that time, definitely by the end of next season, Gundogan will have gone. I know these aren't the same positions, but you understand what I mean. Gundogan will have gone. Kovacic should have gone. Bernardo will have gone also. So more opportunity for other players to maybe play in a deeper role. Therefore, more opportunity for Echeverry to play in that more advanced role. So that's what I would personally love to see. Again, there is a wonderful player in there. He's not there yet. He could be there with a loan. That's how I'm interpreting the situation. But what do you guys think? Who would you like to see go to Lyon, and why? What do you see as the future of Echeverry? Do you think that no, keep him, he's good enough to get meaningful minutes this season because City will play 60 plus games this season? Or do you think, he's such a good talent, he needs to start consistently now, loan him out somewhere? Let me know what you guys reckon in the old chat of Destiny. Let me know what you reckon. Chat screen looks different. I've changed the font. I've changed the font of the chat, and I've also changed the mod badges. That's all I've changed so far. This is getting an update. This is getting a makeover. Right now, just the font is changed and the moderators look a bit different. That's the only change. What do you guys reckon, though? Lyon's had 6 managers in the last 5 years. Echeverry will bring stability. No cap. Naipan to Lyon would be gold. Yeah, that's another option for sure. At least it's assuming it's Naipan. Faisal says Echeverry. Enrico Lewis on loan? I don't think so. Not for me. I wouldn't like that. Yeah, I think that should be the case. Bob is the starting right winger. I think last season now he was definitely going to be the starting right winger. I totally agree. We'll get into Bob in a moment. Don't you worry. Send Echeverry to Napoli for a season. That would be fun. If we can give them Grealish and De Bruyne and Echeverry on loan, why not? Echeverry to Lyon, says Razard. Hello Diaz. Hello Seyi. Is McAtee leaving? He should leave for his own good, to be honest with you. Echeverry should go to Lyon. Naipan to Girona. And Barton Noise. Comic Sans, hello. Diaz says, Echeverry so raw and natural on the ball. If that makes sense, he could turn out to be a killer. I do think he's young enough where he can leave him to develop for 2 to 3 years. That's the thing, isn't it? He's only 19 years old. Actually, no. He's in this weird age range now, because if he was like 17, because I think someone made the equivalence to Foden, which is absolutely fair enough. And I believe that Foden first, was getting game time in, the 17-18 season. I think Foden was 17, was he at that time? So it doesn't really matter if you're only starting 5 Premier League games a season or only featuring 5 times. 19, you sort of want to be getting more into the side, getting 10 starts in the Premier League, that sort of thing. I just don't know if I can see that, particularly given the level of opposition I think we're going to have this season, particularly given the state of City's squad as well. If it was a guaranteed nailed-on squad where I think City will dominate the league, will win the title, then I think it's a different conversation. Maybe you can have that luxury. The problem is City aren't necessarily that right now. No one really knows what to expect next year. We've had an off season. Are we going to have another one, or are we going to bounce back? It's all sort of up in the air at the moment. I don't think it's the right time to try to develop this sort of player. For me, I'd rather send him out on loan and see what happens there. Again, if he's able to just illustrate that, actually, no, I am better than Foden, or I'm better than Cherki, or I can play alongside them, or I'm better than Marmoush, or then it's a different conversation, isn't it? But I just don't. I don't know if I see it. Again, it's a small sample size, of course. I just rather we get more of a sample size by sending him out on loan somewhere. And again, the physicality one is interesting to me. It is interesting to me. He needs to play, says Phil. That's the key for me. And he's not going to... Again, I don't think he's going to play at City. To however much I would like him to play, is what I'm trying to say. They allow Cherki that free role. They can give Echeverry it, says Faisal, for sure. Yeah, exactly, Spam. We've discussed that, definitely. Do you feel with Bernardo and Gundo likely staying, we'll see some of the same issues? Yeah, we'll get into that in a moment, Jeremy. Absolutely. Good evening, Dave. How are you? Who's best between Haaland and Isak, Haaland? It's Echeverry's choice. Does he want to wait 4 to 6 years of slow starts like Foden, become world class for sure, like Foden did? I mean, I doubt Foden regrets the slow start. And indeed, Diaz, it depends, doesn't it? It does depend. I will say the state of play was also slightly different, when Foden was coming through, because there was a more obvious pathway in those areas. Like David Silva was coming to the end of his career, for example, and also he was good enough to play anywhere on the pitch, so he was able to get game time on the left, on the right, winning us the league at false 9, just as a natural striker, before he had his first season in the midfield. It's a little bit different with Echeverry right now, because look at the attacking landscape ahead of him. Sure, De Bruyne's just gone, but Cherki's just been signed, and he's only 21. Foden's only 25. Bob is only 21, 22. If we talk about playing on the wings, Savio's only 21. 2021 years old. So it's an even trickier landscape as well for him to break into. So that's why I would like to see him go potentially out on loan. I think that's probably the best for him. That remains to be seen, though. Those are my thoughts on Bar and Echeverry. Thank you guys for getting your thoughts in as well. Shall we chat about the match now? Al Ain. Apologies, I didn't stream it. Again, I take that back. Don't apologise. I was in bed. I've since watched it, of course, in full. Watched it yesterday, and let's get into that now, shall we? The fallout from it. What did we learn? What didn't we learn? How did we set up? Etc. 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 Oh, by the way, I've realised that I thought the Juve game was on Wednesday. I'm not going to stream the Juve game because there's birthday stuff happening on Thursday evening, so I'm not going to be able to stream that. Apologies. I do apologise for that because I got the dates wrong there. So, yeah, sorry about that. We'll have a stream on Friday, though. We could talk about the match. Alain, let's touch on that, shall we? We won 6-0. Now, let's caveat everything by, first of all, accepting that they're not very good. To be honest with you, that they're not very good. We were always going to batter them. Like, I predicted 5-0. It was... I've actually forgotten. Was it 7-0 or 6? No, it was 6-0, wasn't it? Let me double check. Yeah, it was 6. So I sort of lost track after 5. Yeah, okay. It was 6-0. So we knew we were going to batter them. We knew it was going to happen. That's fine. That's lovely. So, of course, caveats, pinch of salt, blah, 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 blah. Grain of salt, is that the term? Take everything with a grain of salt. Yeah, it's not a fucking recipe, is it? It's not a pinch of salt. It's a grain of salt. Level of opposition is a thing. Of course it is. However, City looked good. I would say every single player looked good. Second half I preferred. I thought that the tempo was a lot better in that second half. I think that was partly informed by the subs as well, coming on. But to be fair, I wasn't displeased with the first half performance. It wasn't as good as the second, but still, it wasn't too bad. Because first half, we scored from... It was technically 3 set pieces, wasn't it? The first one was technically a corner, the most bizarre cross which goes into the back of the net ever. Ridiculous free kick from Echeverry, beautiful, and then a penalty for Haaland. So, you know, I actually prefer the goals in the second half as well. But hey, got to put the ball in the back of the net, and that was lovely. It was a really weird shape, wasn't it? Also, someone lied to me on Twitter. Someone said we played 3-4-3 in and out of possession. We didn't. Fraud. Someone said that on Twitter. I said, what should I look out for? Little swine. Yeah. What was interesting, I guess, is what? The striker situation's been weird in these first two games. The first one, it was technically Marmoush, but Marmoush, like, dropped back, so it was almost like we were playing with no striker at some times. That was weird. And against Al Ain, well, sometimes we were playing with two. It was Haaland and Echeverry at times. It was very odd. I don't really know what's going on there. Again, this is pre-season in a post-season sort of vibe. We're like experimenting. It was very odd. Yeah, exactly, Fire. So it's more of like a sole pivot sort of situation rather than this double pivot in a 3-4-3. So I was lied to again. Just on that, it was Nico who was asked to be the sole six. Once again, level of opposition, blah, 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 blah. I thought Nico did good. I thought Nico played quite well, to be honest with you. Once again, that is not his position. He's not ever, in a big game, going to be asked to play as this Rodri type figure, all on his own to lock it down. But isn't it interesting that Pep has tried to revisit the shape that he tried to start last season with? I keep saying last season, but this is still technically this season. You know what I mean, though? At the first few games of the season, we went for 3-1-6. Seemingly trying to do that again, perhaps, with a slight tweak, which is interesting. Aït-Nouri was the player who impressed me the most, and I really think, I'll repeat, I really, really think Marmoush is going to skyrocket in respect to performances next season, and that's largely because of Aït-Nouri. So far, I haven't properly scouted him yet, so that video will hopefully be dropping next week. Cherki hopefully by the end of this week. He's a lot better than I gave him credit for. I knew he was going to be good. I knew he was the sort of player we needed. But based on that performance, again, the level, he was really good. Really good. Holding the width, but not scared to either cross it first time, not scared to take the touch, beat his man and cross, not scared to take the touch, beat his man and drive into the penalty box either and potentially put a dangerous cross either low across the front of goal or to the back post for someone to shoot from outside of it. Really, really promising. What we need is that on the right. I need that replicated out on the right side as well. Because Aït-Nouri was... Sorry, keep hitting my mic. Yeah, Aït-Nouri was absolutely class. This is going to be a really weird question. Is he really gangly? Does he have gangly legs and a gangly frame? Or is it just because he's got his socks low? I couldn't escape the feeling that I was looking at a really gangly, leggy, which is good, leggy player when I was watching him. That was all I could really think of. And yes, guys, I have a leg fetish. Get over it. I couldn't tell if that was because he does have that or if it's just because he was wearing short socks and it was giving a weird sort of mirage sort of effect. Let me know, guys. Am I tripping? Is it just the low socks? What an L. Right. Either way, it worked. It looked very aesthetic and it looked very nice. It looked very pretty. And yeah, we knew he was going to be incredibly competent technically. You need that in a City side. And I think he's illustrated already. I think he's going to slot in perfectly. He's going to get even more out of Marmoush. And that's really, really exciting. It is amazing. It is amazing that it's taken us this long to sign someone like him. I know it's been working with Zinchenko, with Cancelo, with Laporte, with Ake. I get it. It's worked. With Gvardiol, I get it. It has worked. It's got us trophies. But it's just weird how it's taken us this... June 2025 to sign a left-back of this sort of profile. Very unusual. I wonder what would have happened had we just signed someone like that earlier. That just gives us a whole different offensive dimension as well. In the past, this isn't having to go at Gvardiol, because he can do this role against the better sides. The best example ever is against Arsenal, that 0-0 a couple of seasons ago. Gvardiol had more space than a fucking keyboard factory. Yeah, with all the space bars. I don't know what the hell. Sorry, that's a shit analogy. I was trying to think of something witty. I couldn't think of anything. I'm feeling slow today. He had more space than he knew what to do with. But that was by design. Arsenal did not give a shit about Gvardiol having the ball because they knew that he was no offensive threat in respect of those wide areas. Again, that's not me having a go. That's not me having a go at Gvardiol because I'm a big advocate of him out at that left back area at times. But Arsenal just did not care, and they were just eating up all of the space in the centre. They were congesting it. They were just giving Gvardiol the license to do whatever the hell he wanted because they knew that he was going to be no threat. That dimension now is turned on its head. More space than this. Yeah, exactly. That's a great one, Matthew. Yeah. More space than there is in Star Trek Voyager. Excellent work, Matthew. Yeah, well done. I'll have that one. That's mine now. Yeah, copyright. Nobbins. Hold that. You can't give Nori that sort of space. All of a sudden, you are in a predicament. Do you congest the centre and give the left back total freedom to do whatever they want? Well, you can't do that because Nori is that good going forwards offensively. Or do you commit your defensive block to cover that wide area? But then you're leaving more space for the likes of Cherki in the centre. That's a big problem for our opponents. That's a great thing for City. It's something that has been missing for ages. For ages, really. In respect of like an attacking defender pushing up there. We haven't had that in a minute. So it's a wonderful string to the bow of City. I thought Nori was probably the best player against Al Ain, and it's just convinced me more and more that he's going to be that guy going forwards for City. Guys, make sure to leave a like on the video. It is free, and it does help your boy. It really does. We've got over 250 watching, which is wonderful. And yet, I want more fucking likes, yeah? Excuse me. Leave a like on the video. It's free. If you remember, I don't know, use one of your emotes. Use a shame emote. We've got a new emote, guys. It's a shame one. So whenever anyone does a Hall of Shame statement, I want my members to wag the bell? What the hell is that? Ring the bell. Wag the bell. What is wrong with me? I think I'm losing it, guys. I think I'm losing it. I had pre-workout for the first time today. I don't know if that's relevant. All it did was make my face tingle. So yeah. So that's Nori. Again, for me, best player on the pitch. Loved his performance. Loved it. I'm so excited for him. He's even better than I thought. Even better. Pig up Yanko. There we go. Look at this emote, guys. What colour hair does this emote have? Guys, what colour hair does this emote have? Tell me. Tell me right now. If anyone says the G word, you're getting banned. You're not getting banned. You're getting banned. Yeah? Yeah? Anyway. Look at this. Look at this. That is not the bell of... No! Right, I'll ban my own mods if you're not careful. Right. Okay. Who else do we want to talk about? Talk about Nico. Again, I thought he did good in that lone role. I'll repeat on Nico. There is no world in which he is a pure Rodri alternative. There is no way that is the case. It's not happening. It's not happening. He's going to be starting more than 8 games in a season. There will be games where he plays with Rodri as well. He's a 6-8 hybrid. It's good that he's getting experience in this lone role because he will need to play that when Rodri is out, because a partnership of him and Reinders would be the best in that situation. But no, Ginger Razad, that was the joke. But it's good to see him getting that experience. And again, it's good to see Pep experimenting and seeing what sticks. Throw a lot of shit at the wall in pre-season / post-season, I guess this is technically, see what sticks. Anything else in the first half before I touch on what I preferred in the second half? Nora was class. Yeah, Haaland, shall we? And again, this technically goes into the first and second half, so maybe we'll talk about Haaland in a moment. Who else? It was the shape really benefited Nunes because he's just like an industrious workhorse who will like just run up and down that right side. So the system suited him down to a T. Defense looked good, but again, think about the opposition. Anything else? No, it was all good. It was all good, to be fair. Again, Etchi, very good free kick. A little bit quiet the rest of the game, though, I thought. A couple of glimpses, but nothing too much going on there in that first half. Again, I think the slow tempo didn't really benefit him in fairness. Yeah, second half, changes were made. What changes were made specifically? I don't want to get this wrong. I know Foden came on and Echeverry went off. I can't remember what else happened. Did anything else happen at halftime? No, okay, so that was the only change that happened at halftime. Eventually, Bernardo went off around 75th. Kusanov, Gvardiol, Nico around the 60th. Who came off? Yeah, Rodri. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, cool. I think someone also commented on my Twitter post saying that apparently at halftime, the players were told that the target is to get to 7 goals because then we'll obviously be top of the group. So maybe it was also just to do with that. Maybe it was just because the team were like, right, guys, the target is 7. Let's go for more goals. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'd be a bit disappointed if that was the case. Like, why aren't we playing with that urgency from minute 1? So I don't know if I buy that entirely. I do think that the subs also made a slight difference, perhaps. But maybe I'm reading too much into that. So yeah, second half, Foden came on, Cherki came on later, Rodri came on, Bob also came on. So let's maybe have a chat about those. Again, Nori was class in that second half. But let's start with Bob. Now we'll get into Foden and Haaland and Cherki. Let's start with Bob. I would say that in a vacuum, you'll notice that's one of my favorite terminologies, by the way. Do I need to get a fucking vacuum emote at this point? In a vacuum, Bob was the player I was most disappointed with. He was beaten too easily in the 1v1. First touch wasn't clean. Got the goal. Really nice fucking goalkeeping, though. I don't know what that goalkeeper is doing with his positioning. Like, no competent human being lets that go in. Again, still a fine goal, of course. There were some nice moments, but overall he looked. I'm not going to use the word poor, but I'd say below par in a vacuum. He looks like a player who missed all of last season due to an injury. And there's the context. And that's all the context I need. I'm not concerned about Bob. I know lots of people I saw lots of people on Twitter were questioning his performance. They were concerned, saying, has he lost like some pace or whatever? Has he lost confidence? I think it's just a case of he missed all of last season with an injury. And he looks a little bit blunt and rusty. And that's it. So I'm not concerned at all. Bob is going to be a fantastic player for City. There's no problem there. So I'm not going to overanalyze. Again, it's like with Rodri in his game against Wydad, and indeed like in the cameos he had in the Premier League. He looked like he had an ACL injury for the whole season. Bob looked like he had a broken foot or broken leg for the whole season. It's not a problem to me. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Just needs to get the game time, get rid of that injury rust. He will become first team quality. I'm very convinced of that. Don't lose faith in Bob. Do not lose faith in Bob. He's a starter for City. He's not a player we should be looking to loan out. That's the way I see him. I love Bob. I think he's a fantastic player. Again, small sample size, but I just think he's that good. And I also think that his dribbling from a standing start is good enough out wide where... he's a very... So let's say... Because I always say this, that I'm just trying to preempt something. I don't care, IDK. I'm calling them wide dad. It's a slander name for them. That's what they get for getting Rico Lewis sent off. I'm going to try to preempt this. Because you might go, Nobbins, but you've always said that Bob's an interior, so why are you happy with him being out at right wing? You know, potentially isolated. But you're not happy with, like, Foden, who's also an interior, being played out on the right wing. They're very different dribblers. Bob is a far superior dribbler from a standing start. Foden is a far superior dribbler on the move, receiving the ball. If that makes any sense. Bob is a very different sort of dribbler. It lends itself more easily to playing out on the wings in isolation on your own. So even though I foresee Bob's absolute ceiling being more central, right now I don't see it as an issue him playing out on the right wing, even if it is as a touchline winger. That's definitely not his ceiling, but it's not a detriment to his game either. So I don't have a problem with him playing out on right wing because of his standing start dribbling. We saw it at times against Al Ain. It's not a problem. So that's Bob. Don't lose faith in him. Don't lose faith in him. That was one Norwegian. Let's touch on another. Bob on. Let's touch on another. Haaland got a very... Because, again, I sent out a tweet saying, I'm about to watch the Al Ain match. What should I be looking out for? And I was very, very confused about the Haaland reception. Some people were saying he was wonderful. Some people were saying he was shit. Some people were saying that it's the exact opposite of what we'd expect from him. I didn't really know what to expect. So let's touch on that now. What do you guys... Before I give my thoughts, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm not going to change my mind based on what you say. Don't worry. I want to hear your thoughts. What did you make of Haaland's performance against Al Ain? And then I'll give you my thoughts. I just want to get a consensus. I want to feel the room. I want to taste the ambiance. Yeah? Yeah? Is it salty? Is it sour? Is it good or bad? I don't know what I'm saying. But give me if you had to surmise it in a sentence, what were your thoughts? Or a word? It's up to you. How would you rate Haaland's performance against Al Ain across both halves? Let me know as I just see. We're not even at 100 likes. We've still got over 250 watching. You know the drill, guys. I want 150 likes. It's not good enough. Come on, guys. Come on. Get the likes up. Come on. Get it up here. Get it up here. Get it up here. Get it up here. Oh, God, I need to have some lunch, man. I feel delirious. Roger's very rusty, indeed. Is anyone annoyed that every time Kastanov gets subbed in or starts, commentators talk about the Chelsea match? Here's the mistake you're making, Razad. Most commentators are fucking idiots, and they don't know what they're talking about. It is bliss being a big mouth like me and talking over them, so I hardly hear them. So, when it's BT Sport and it's Steve McManaman and Rio Ferdinand and Michael Owen combination they're in, I can hardly hear them because all I can hear is my voice because I don't stop talking. To be fair, it is my job to talk on watchalongs. But you know what I mean? If they're still... so I didn't even know they were doing this still. I thought that, that is so 2000 late. Yeah? That is old news. He was good in that game, by the way. I swear people don't watch matches. And also... the mistake was actually Akanji's, if we want to get really into it. Anyway, what do you guys make of Haaland? Can't finish anymore. Shot conversion rate keeps going down. Wasteful. He was mid. Missed 4 goals. 2 of them were clear chances. Haaland doubled up. He made space for others, tried to play others, especially Cherki. He's become less confident with the finishing. Wasteful. Was poor, says Andrew. I liked his link up. It was all right. Bad for his standards. Foreplay was great, finishing poor. 6% of what I'd expect. Yeah, so we've got a bit of a mixed bag here. Lots of people, I mean, definitely wasteful in front of goal. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't like he was missing sitters. Yeah, so there was the one where he won the ball back from his pressing, and it was technically, he like rounded the keeper, it was technically an open net, but it was a very tricky chance. There was another one where he was in on the right foot. Again, I wouldn't call that a sitter on his right foot. I'd expect him to do better with it. But I don't know if I'd consider that a sitter. I think the only one where I would go, where I was like sort of jaw on the floor, like, what are you doing, mate? Oh, we used a widget. Oh, that's a good idea. Right, guys. Oh my god, one sec. We can do this. Honestly, let's see if I can do this. One sec. Is this going to work? I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, it does. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate 0 to 10, sorry, rate Haaland's performance against Al Ain. Rate his performance and just do it once. Don't spam. Don't spam. Don't spam. 0 to 10, rate Haaland's performance, and I'm going to give my thoughts on his performance overall as well. 0 to 10, guys. Again, please just do it once so we can get an accurate reflection. If I see spamming, I'm not going to be impressed. That would be great. So please get your thoughts in the chat right now. 0 to 10. What do you rate Haaland's performance against Al Ain? This is going to be a official Nobbins chat performance. You can do decimals if you really want. I mean, try to do it to 1 decimal place, otherwise it will get confused. Again, just 0 to 10, so don't put like -1. That will not work. The widget will not understand. It's 0 to 10 that is required. 0 to 10. And I'll get my thoughts. Right, we're currently rocking a 6 average. These are the official ratings on the Nobbins channel. 5 is average. 6 is above average. 7 is good. These are the ratings that we are rocking with, because 5 is in the exact middle of 0 to 10. So that's obvious. That's got to be average by definition. 6 by definition must be above average. 7 by definition must be better than above average, which is good. We're just doing Haaland right now because I'm interested. Just for Haaland. A couple of 6s, a couple of 7s, a couple of 7s. Silver splits the blue. What do you make of your beautiful golden rat, mate? Let me know. 10 for Tar, Christ. 7.86. Yeah, so rounding it up, we're looking like above average at this point, and I think that's fair. I think that's probably fair, to be honest with you. Now, feel free to keep your 0 out of 10 coming if you haven't voiced your opinion. How would I assess his performance? He should have done better in front of goal. I'm not trying to detract from that fact at all. I think the whole, and this is weird because it's post-season, pre-seasons. If this is 22, if that was 22-23 Haaland, he scores 4. He scores 4 or 5. Against Al Ain, he just does. There weren't. The way people were going on about it was he was missing sitter after sitter after sitter. Now, I'd be interested. Do we have the XG numbers? That might be interesting. Does the Club World Cup have XG? .86 minus the penalty around 1. Yeah, to be fair. So he had a whole 1 XG. I'd expect Haaland to be getting multiple goals from a 1 XG, maybe 2 or 3. So yeah, no doubt he should have done better in front of goal. But I'll repeat, the only chance where I truly, please correct me guys if I'm missing anything, but I'm going to end the ratings thing because I think we've reached a consensus there. Oh, I love this. 6 is all right.
Nice.
It's all right. It's all right. There you go, guys. 6.06923076923077 out of 10. That is the official rating for Erling Haaland. Yeah, the only chance where I was like, mate, what you doing? Was the one that Foden created for him, which was the best chance of the entire game. We'll get onto Foden in a moment. I can't believe how good that pass is. It's mad. And then I also can't believe how Haaland's not scored twice. That's insane. Because it was the first one. And then I think the second one is even worse, like the direct follow-up. So I imagine that's where he got the majority of his XG from, to be fair, in that one passage. So that was pretty shocking. However, I've always said this about Haaland, because people say, erroneously, if Haaland's not scoring, what's he doing? This is what we heard in 22-23 and 23-24. Last season, a bit different because everyone was off it. Maybe, or no, maybe. What is he doing if he's not scoring? This is the question that's always levied at Haaland. And my response to that, in his first 2 years, I was able to easily defend that by saying, well, he's occupying defenders, he's creating space for others. How do you think we scored so many goals from outside the box in the 23-24 season? Rodri. Whether it was Rodri, whether it was Foden, whether it was De Bruyne, whether it was Gvardiol, why were they all able to score so many goals from outside the box? It was because Haaland was occupying defenders. And that's how I was able to justify the lackluster finishing at times, as long as he's doing something else. So the question is, what was Haaland doing that was of benefit against Al Ain? I thought his link-up was some of the best I've ever seen, to be fair. He obviously got the assist for Cherki, and I just thought, generally, there was another moment where he should have got a second assist. He did a wonderful first-time layoff to Cherki. Cherki drove with it. Cherki had to pass it to Foden. He went for the shot instead. Fair enough. It was like 4 or 5-0 up at that point. It's not a problem. Had Cherki scored, or if like Cherki had passed it to Foden, as I felt he probably should have done, Haaland gets a second assist there. Or if Cherki finishes, he gets a natural assist there. I thought his link-up was actually pretty fantastic. So I'm not too concerned about Haaland's performances. The finishing will come back. History tells us the finishing and the overperformance on the XG, that will return. That's the sort of player he is. What I'm interested in, what we know Haaland needs to work on, is the overall development. If you aren't scoring, what are you doing? You need to be occupying defenders. Okay, great. He's done that. But what if our players aren't on form from a scoring outside the box perspective? Can you provide great link-up moments and great hold-up work as well for the players like Foden and Cherki or Gundogan, whoever? And the answer to that against Al Ain was yes. So I'm not going to have a go at Haaland because I quite liked his overall play. So it's not an issue for me. It's not a concern. It's not too much of a concern. So again, it will be a concern if like he has another season where he's lackluster in front of goal. I just can't see that though. Certainly if we've got Cherki coming into the side. And hopefully, like a Foden who's back to even 80% of what we know he can be, rather than like 50% of what we know he can be. With Reinders as well. With Rodri coming back. It's not a problem. Exactly, Tony, and we'll get into Foden in a moment. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, yes, Haaland could have done better in front of goal. But he was very, very tidy. He was very, very tidy everywhere else. Once again, it was one of his best link-up games, so I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned, to be honest with you. The finishing will come back, especially with a more functional setup. It's not a problem for me. It's not a problem. I understand people's frustrations because he's a striker. You want him to do well in front of goal. And again, he really should have scored that Foden chance. But it will come. I'm very convinced of that. Let's go to Foden now. Once again, on my Twitter, people were confusing me because I asked for feedback. I said, what should I be looking out for? Some people were saying that he played well. Some people were saying it was a decent cameo. one mentalist who I've now had to block because he was an idiot. Had a temper tantrum. So I didn't really know what to expect. He played very well, which was lovely to see. Again, he created the best chance of the match for Haaland, as we've just outlined. He was again played in a, certainly when Cherki came on, was asked to play in a slightly deeper role, which I liked. The first touch, there was this little moment where it didn't necessarily lead to anything, in fairness. It was just like he just retained the ball. He had 3 players on him. I don't know what the skill move in FIFA is called, but it's like, hopefully you guys know the one. It was like in the left center of the pitch, and he had 2 or 3 players around him, and he sort of did a... I don't know what the skill move's called. I'm such an old man. It was like he intimated to go on the left. It was like a shimmy, but not a shimmy. He went like left, right, left, and then scooped out of it. I don't know what the technical term for that is. It was just really pretty and really nice. Again, I don't know what the best I don't know what the best term for that is. Best chance was not intended. I don't know what that means, Yash, because he did create the best chance. Is that what it is? Isn't a croqueta isn't that a fucking food? Now, it wasn't a roulette. Roulette's a spinny boy. La croqueta. Everyone's saying croquette, so I guess it must be that. But I thought that was a fucking food. I don't know. Whatever it was very pretty. It was very lovely. And again, didn't really do anything outside of retain the ball. But hey, it retained the ball. And it was very, very pretty. So I liked that as well. That was just a nice little thing. The little flicks were lovely. He broke the lines for Nunes. He broke the lines a number of times. He needed to do better in front of goal. Like, he could have made it 7 at one time. I think we've already touched on that. But again, it was a really nice little cameo. And it's, again, we can talk about the level of opposition, but it's very promising so far. Against Wydad, obviously won us the game. Against Al Ain, came on. I don't think it's a coincidence that the tempo increased when he came on. Again, I liked how he broke the lines. I liked how he retained the ball. I liked how he knew when to pass forward and when to not. When Cherki came on, he played slightly deeper as well. And you guys all know my thoughts on that. I think that is his future. I think that's... Well, maybe not. If I was in charge, that would be what... That would be... I would consider that his ceiling. And Pep's commented on that, saying that we've got lots of 10s right now. I tried him in a slightly deeper role against Wydad. New role, question mark. I hope so. Again, a lovely cameo. And did it lead to any goals? It should have done, because it was a ridiculous pass. But even taking that out, it was just nice. So again, didn't lead to any direct goals. It won't be on the highlights reel, but it was just like a nice, solid performance from him. So again, this is a really encouraging first 1.5 games from him so far, based on the sample size that we currently have. I'm very excited for next season, and I do really think the future is Foden and Cherki. Everyone's talking about, again, everyone's having like this spat on Twitter. Who do you pick, Cherki or Foden? I just don't think that's the choice. I think that's insane. I sincerely believe that there is no... again, in before I'm proven wrong. I sincerely believe there is no shot. There is no shot that Guardiola is looking at Foden and Cherki and going, which one do I play? I don't consider that the question. And I think that if you think that Pep thinks that that is the question, I would question Pep's brain capacity if that was the case, essentially. I just don't... I fundamentally can't see that being the question, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying so hard to put myself in Pep's boots with a lovely shiny bald head. Shall I go bald for that? Let's try to do that, guys. Hello? Why isn't my hotkey working? Hello? Hello? Why am I not going bald? Hello? Oh my. There we go. Right. I'm putting my pet hat on. I'm trying. I am harnessing. No, I'm not harnessing. What's the term? I am, absorbing. I am what fucking verb am I after here? Channeling. That's the term. I'm channeling my inner bald fraud, and indeed my outer bald fraud, hence the bald head. That's... Yeah, I just can't see it. What won us the league a couple years ago was Foden and De Bruyne playing together. And what won us the league in previous seasons was David Silva and De Bruyne playing together. And before then, it was Nasri and David Silva playing together. I don't know why now, all of a sudden, it can't. That is the question. It never has been the question. Why is it starting now? I again, totally fine to be proven wrong. And if I am proven wrong, and if Pep decides actually I can't facilitate both of them, or if I do, it's to the detriment of the side, then hey, I'll hold my hands up and I'll eat my humble pie. Whatever. I don't care about being wrong. I'm always wrong. But I just really struggle. I just really struggle with that as a concept. How can you look at... How can you look at those two and decide I can only play one of them? You don't look at De Bruyne and again, no, they're not the same. But you don't look at De Bruyne and David Silva and go, oh gosh, which one do I pick? That's not the starting point. You're playing the wrong game. I'm playing fucking Monopoly. You're playing fucking Operation or whatever. We're not on the same page right now. Yeah, I'm right at the end of the book. You're having a shit. You're not even reading a book. You're using it for toilet paper. What's going on? I don't know what analogy I'm trying to use here. Anyway, hopefully you see what I mean. And again, I just don't think that is even remotely the question. Even if it were remotely the question, we have so many games in the season. 60 plus. This idea that, these 11 players need to start every game. There's going to be loads of opportunities to play. And you can't convince me that the two can't play together and perform brilliantly with one another. For Christ's sake, we've just seen... how many times have we seen people masturbating over the fucking concept of Real Madrid's team and PSG's team and going, just let ballers ball, which I actually don't agree with, by the way. I think that's a shit concept, but these, I'm just making the example, these same people are now saying, actually, there's no balance. Which one is it? Come on, guys. Which one is it? Come on, guys. Which one is it? So I don't buy it for a second. You can't convince me that the two can't thrive together in the same midfield. And again, I think that if that is your starting point, I'm going, lads, look at the history of Pep Guardiola. Look at his teams. Look at his teams, yeah? Crazy. Crazy. Don't worry about me, guys. It's fine. I'm a cheeky little so-and-so. It's fine. This is why I've got many memorable quotes. It's all good. So yeah, I think they can definitely both play together. I can't be convinced of that, and I think that is our best team if they do both play. Again, unless one of them shit, obviously. But hey, we're talking about that. We're talking about that. But again, ACV, there is balance. You can't convince me that there isn't balance. Was PSG's midfield not balanced? Was every City midfield when we won the title not balanced when we had two of these players on the side? I just fundamentally disagree. I fundamentally disagree entirely. I would have to revisit my entire understanding of systems in football for me to believe that they can't coexist. I would have to totally I'm here, I'd have to go out like here. I can't even begin to imagine what that world is like. Because again, I would have to totally change my tactical point of view. I'd have to everything I would have learned and known would have been a lie. I just don't think that everything that I know and learn is a lie. I hope not, anyway. That's a little mini aside on those two playing together. It can definitely happen, no question there. And again, I think it should happen, and they can thrive. So that's his performance. Again, good. Again, I'll say it again. That's the only chance where I'm looking at Haaland and going, "What are you doing?" It was a lovely ball, fantastic. And we'll see what the future holds. We'll see what the future holds for him. Of course, if he's not good enough, he's not good enough, and it's not a conversation. But if he gets even to 80 or 90% of what he had a few years ago, it's not a problem at all. We talked about Bartonius earlier. Hot, FYI. Is there anyone else that we can talk about from yesterday? Was there anyone else who I said I wanted to touch on? Oh, Cherki. Obviously, he's in the thumbnail. Yeah. Sit back and observe. What's the phrase? What's the saying? Not everything needs a reaction. Not everything needs a reaction. Yeah, let's all do this. Sit back and observe. Not everything needs a reaction. Is that the term? I don't know. I'm doing this as well. It's so funny how so many people are so reactivist that even City fans, by the way, they rule them out as a... Sorry, they outline him as a flop immediately. Cherki gave us a taste of what he is capable of in that cameo. Opposition aside. And I think that if you think he's going to flop, then I think that you are a bit of a moron. There's never been a more obvious star player signing for City. It's just so obvious. Once again, when he came on, Foden dropped slightly deeper. I liked that a lot. The relationship that he and Haaland had was really, really lovely. That's only going to get better. Cherki is, we all know, is statistically like the 4th best passing creator in Europe based on his numbers last year. If you want me to go in a bit more depth on that, I did a member-only video yesterday where we go into some really interesting data. So if you guys would like to support me and also get lovely perks such as exclusive member videos, where, as I say, we go into a more detailed analysis of some of this data, and I show it you on the screen as well. You can become a member for as little as £3 a month. The link is in the pinned comment, and you can click the join button as well if you would like to. So that was uploaded yesterday. So yeah, it's insane. That insert GIF of Gary Neville. Insert the meme, the GIF, whatever you want to say, of Gary Neville saying, "This is the no-brainer. This is the banker. This is the one that's never failed," sort of thing. There has never been more of a banker signing for City in that creative department than Cherki coming. Of course we can, Naveen. Of course we can. Than Cherki joining City, especially given the context of Haaland being at the club. So, to those who have already ruled him out, whether you're a City fan or not, you're a fucking idiot, and you will be proven wrong. And you will be holding that. You'll be holding that humble pie. This is the banker. This is the no-brainer. This is the one that couldn't fail. This is the one that's never failed. Exactly. That's the one. That's the one. No, Dave, it's absolutely fine because you, kind sir, you just said I want Baena instead. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't worry. You don't have to change your mind at all. That's absolutely fine. There were some people who were like, "Oh, he's fucking already shit or whatever. He's already shit the bed." Oh, shut up, mate. Shut up. So yeah, they can all hold that. Yeah. So that's a Cherki situation. And it was only 10, 15 minutes. Again, he's just going to thrive. He's going to get the best out of everyone. Can I also just address something? Can I address something, please? Can I please address something that's been pissing me off? I don't know if... Wait. Why have two people copy and pasted the exact same comment? Are you two the same people? Fenway Cheap, and I've just noticed that. LB just said he thinks he could get 5+ goals if he started for United. Who is he? What, LB? What? I'm so confused. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, oh no, it says no, I can't. Okay, we'll just sit here in silence then. Okay, that's awkward. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to address something that's been pissing me off. I don't know if it's City fans who are doing this, and I don't know if it's rival fans who are doing this, but I've seen some weird shit on Twitter. Funnily enough, this like fake beef, this fucking vegan wagyu that is going on. Yeah, there's a lot of that's a great phrase. Oh, I'm gonna use that instead of fake meat. Vegan wagyu. Yeah, there's a lot of vegan wagyu going on, right? There was a video, I'm sure you guys have seen it, of Foden and Cherki warming up, and they're just bawling with one another. They're just playing like one-touch football, doing lovely little flicks, having fun with each other, enjoying the sport, and just enjoying one another's technical quality and brilliance. Somehow, this has turned into Foden is insecure and is trying to like little bro him. And then there was another one in the Wydad match where this moron, this cretinous fool, this moronic mule, this innumerate melon, this facetious felon, this pretentious prat, this nomadic knobhead. How long can I go on that? Shall I do every single letter of the alphabet? Said, oh, they're not passing to each other. Foden's not passing to Cherki. Foden hates him. Sorry, are we watching Love Island? What's going on? This fake-ass drama that's going on. It's football. And it's... I'm watching reality TV, apparently. And I'm watching fucking Hell's Kitchen, or Big Brother, or Love Island, or The Fucking Traitors. What is happening? Sorry, I didn't realise that everyone on fucking X worked for the fucking Sun. And now we're getting drama where there is none. Yeah, breaking news. Marcus Rashford wears jacket. Oh, stop the fucking presses. Breaking news, guys. Raheem Sterling goes to Greg's and orders sausage roll. These blue tick wankers that I call them, and yes, I'm a blue tick wanker as well. A blue tick wanker is basically like a faceless blue tick Twitter profile who just chats a lot of shit for engagement. These blue tick wankers, they are the online equivalent of tabloid journalism, which is also online, sadly, nowadays. That's what we're dealing with, basically. And I just can't believe that this manufactured bullshit. So I'm chatting on about this, aren't I? I should move on to another topic, shouldn't I? I promise I'll move on in a moment. I just needed to talk about this. I just can't quite believe it. And again, I don't know if it's City fans doing it. I don't know if it's because I don't know who these people support. I don't really give a shit. I don't know if it's City fans doing this. I don't know if it's rival fans doing it. I don't know if they believe their own idiocy or not. I don't know if they're fools or just actors portraying fools. Either way, all roads lead to Rome, and this road leads to you being a twat idiot. The idea that they don't like each other is mad. You know, like when there was the whole Foden De Bruyne situation last season, people going, ow, start him, start him. It's not the question. And they're just like hugging each other and smiling and training. They fucking love each other, guys. It's like Foden and Cherki. They're going to a door playing with one another. You don't think a baller is going to enjoy playing with another baller? You are right. What do you think this is? It's bizarre. It's bizarre, it's bizarre, it's bizarre. And again, maybe it is. Maybe I'm feeding into it Fenway. Maybe they don't actually believe what they're saying. Maybe they are just actors playing as fools. But either way, if you're an actor playing a fool, and you're portraying yourself as a fool, if it looks like shit, and it smells like shit, I don't need to finish that sentence. Guys, we will be live for another 17 minutes or so. I know it's specific, but I've apparently been live for 1 hour 13, there or thereabouts. Anything else you want me to rant about? Or just talk about? Let me know. Let me know. How many people have liked? We've got over 150, that's lovely, but I'm greedy. It's never enough for me. I am a morbidly obese boy, and I need you to feed me. Your likes sustain me. Your likes give me calories, and I need calories. Leave a like on the video. It's free. Is there anything else that we want to discuss, guys? Because as I said, I'll be live for another 15 minutes or so. What do you make of Nikoji's performance? You think he stands a chance in the starting again? Yeah, definitely. He will absolutely have a part to play next season, 100%. Yeah. Again, he's so far been quite unfortunate because he's not been allowed to play in his position. He is an 8 at the end of the day. We will see the best version of Nico when Rodri's on the pitch. So I'm not concerned about Nico at all. There's a reason why I was big on him in my analysis video. He will come good. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. All he needs to be is competent in the 6, and the rest will follow. All he needs to do is be able to give Rodri a rest in the games where we don't need to start Rodri. At home against a relegation-threatened side, we should not have to start Rodri in that game. A duo of Nico and Reinders should be more than sufficient. That's all I need for him to be in the 6, and then obviously be as good as we know he is in the 8. That's absolutely fine. It's not a problem. What do dislikes do to me? Every time you dislike one of Nobbins' videos, a Liverpool fan wins on the premium bonds. Yeah? Do you want them to be happy? Well, maybe you do, to be fair, because you're a nice person. But if you're not a nice person, then no, you don't. So always like. Every time you like a Nobbins video, an angel gets its wings. And that's from It's a Wonderful Life. Throwback. Don't really care who likes who longest. Oh, so, yeah, of course, Tony. Yeah. That's what we're going to call them, Thunder Road. Blue tick wankers. Blue tick wankers. Chill, Jack, chill. Would you do a Blue Prince live stream? I don't know what that means, mate, but I am live on Twitch tonight at 7 doing Red Dead Redemption 2. So please make sure to join me for that. They're a lot of fun. And it's like me with less of a filter, if that's possible. And we just talk about bullshit. And you just get to learn more about me in general, away from football as well. We still talk about football as well. Do we beat Madrid? Well, let's wait to see who we face first of all. Let's chill on that. Do we have too many wingers? And I think we've got the correct amount of wingers. We've got Marmouche, we've got Doku, we've got Savio, we've got Bob. We've got players who can play out on the wings. Cherki, and Foden, Echeverry, and Bernardo if needed. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. So I don't think we've got too many wingers. I think we've got the correct amount of wingers / nominal wide players. Not a problem for me. Nunes, another one. Not a problem for me. If you had to get rid of 2 players, who would it be? This is such a good question, actually. Well done, well done, Nick. How pedantic does that sound? Sorry. Good boy. That was really weird. Yeah, Gundogan was great, wasn't he? Against Al Ain, which was yesterday, technically. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Great, he was great. It was one of his best performances in a minute. I can't remember the last time he played that well. He was lovely. Again, quality of opposition, whatever. I really think that. Okay, I'm gonna take Walker and Phillips and Grealish as red as they're gone. I'm not gonna count them. I don't think that's fair. Let's talk about players who we actually think are going to be in the squad next season. Maybe not. I really think that I agree with Gundogan. I totally agree with Gundogan that he's not finished at the highest level, and that he could absolutely still be a great player at the highest level. I totally agree with him there. And I think that if we had Rodri last season, we would have seen a far better version of Gundogan. The problem was Rodri wasn't there. Gundogan got exposed. He wasn't supposed to play that much football. So I can't even really use last season, really. Here's the problem with that, though. And maybe in any other season, I'd be happy to keep Gundo. The problem, however, is this. Sorry to keep touching on it. Homegrown dilemma is a thing. It's real. It is really worrying that Gundogan, Bernardo, Kova, and Akanji, and whoever, it seems they're all talking as if they're staying. This is a problem because it puts us into a very tricky scenario. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is, again, love Gundogan. And I would love it if he were just a backup option. Yeah? If that's all it was. If that's all it were. If that's all it were. But we all know that Pep doesn't view Gundogan as that. There is no world in which Gundogan does not take, if he stays, take significant minutes away from players who, for me, should be playing ahead of him in 2025. Whether that's Foden, Reinders, Nico, Bob, Echeverry, Cherki, Marmoush, whoever it is, whatever position, whatever role. Because Gundogan can do a lot of that shit. We need to move on. And that sounds really harsh, because I love Gundo. But I would not be happy with the concept of him taking significant minutes away from any of those players. I would rather Nico play ahead of him. I would rather Reinders play ahead of him. I would rather Foden be used as an 8 ahead of him. If Gundogan's playing more advanced, I'd rather Cherki play ahead of him. I'd rather Foden play ahead of him. I'd rather Reinders play ahead of him. Echeverry and Bob and blah, 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 blah. So I'd personally like to see Gundogan moved on in the summer. And again, that sounds really mean, but I think it is time. So one would be Gundo, and the other would probably be Kovacic, to be honest with you. That's what I would do personally. That's what I would do personally. I'll be live for another 10 minutes, chaps. Apparently LB thinks we're getting Rodrigo. What's this based on? Please no. Please no, for God's sake, man. You don't understand what I'm going to do if we get fucking Rodrigo. Like, I'll back him, obviously, because that would be weird. But it'd be such a stupid signing. There's no way City are stupid enough to make that signing, right? Surely. First of all, we don't need a winger. Secondly, how many times am I going to have to say this? Secondly, if you want a winger, like, get a winger who's actually going to play in the position you want to play them in, not someone you have to justify playing in all these other positions. Exactly. Rodri, no. Rodri, no. Thank you, V. Plu, for following. Love that from you. Can we please stop? Can we please stop with Rodrigo? Yeah. It's here. It mate Mario. If he come, I don't know what I'll do. I'll have to go into hiding. Especially if he proves me wrong and he comes and he's absolutely unreal, then I'll just have to end my channel, won't I? Because nothing I say will ever have any credence ever. Because I've said he'd be a shit signing. So that's my bad. I'll go into hiding. I'll retire from the content creation game. I'll have to go back into the legal industry. I'll have to go back to being employed in the legal industry. Oh God. The same way to pay for Rodrigo can get a world-class right back. Matthew, yes. Why are we putting money into that area of the fucking pitch? So dumb. I still don't get it. Do we have anyone in this chat? This isn't me trying to dig anyone out because I want to have the conversation. Do we have any Rodrigo believers in this chat? I feel like I've been doing my best to try to debunk the idea of him being a good signing, but do we have any left? Because I don't know how many times I have to repeat my issues with the signing. It's 24th of June, 2025. Why can't the rumors die? And how legitimate is this thing? Or is this just you guys messing with me? The sources are dubious. Look at the Squawker tweet comparing Rodrigo to Martinelli. He's not even better than Martinelli. Christ. I am. No way he flops as a signing. If we sign him, he's definitely balling out. We need to sell another winger. I think before Marmoush, Rodrigo. And you know what, Rabbi? That's not a bad comment at all. I agree. I am one of them, but I know it's unlikely, says Dash. He'll be good, but he's not a needed signing. Rodrigo's mid, says Brian. He's a good unnecessary signing, says Tony. Pep says he'll sign for City. Eldo, I'm going to punch you in your little cute mouth if you're not careful, mate. LB stream with this headline, it might have credibility. What's the source, lads? Someone hit me up with a source. Can it please be bullshit? Is it on Twitter? Where's the source? Don't say fucking ketchup. Can't believe this, man. I thought we were done with this shit. Oh my God, that's so funny. If I don't know if it's just me, but if I search Rodrigo, the first thing that comes up is my comment saying, can these Rodrigo rumors die? So I don't know if that's irrelevant, but I'm not seeing anything on Rodrigo. I don't know what the article is. I don't know what the article is that we're talking about. Arsenal are ready to wait and see whether Rodrigo's willing to leave. I don't know if that's us. Anyway. It's a dead source. Oh, right. So, okay, it's a meaningless conversation then. Thank fucking Christ for that. It's not a good source, don't worry. Perfect. Right. We don't need to discuss it then. In earnest. I will briefly touch on it, though. Because lots of you guys have said that you would like him. I'm not having a go if that's what you think. I'm not having a go. That's fine. You can think that if you want. That's fine. It's not a problem. It's all good. Just let me outline my logic. Okay. Homegrown issue. Where's he fitting into the squad? Point number one. Answer: nowhere. Okay. That's the first thing to say. Point number two. Where does he fit on the pitch? He wants to play at left wing, which doesn't really mean left wing. It actually means starting from the left. Because let's talk about the other thing, actually. Point number two. Even if we forget the homegrown problem, which there is a problem. Where's my right back? Why am I dicking around signing a surplus to requirements forwards when I've needed a right back for the past 2 years? That's annoying. If I'm willing to spend 80 to 100 million pounds On a forward, I don't need. Why am I not investing that money into right back? I would rather throw that money at whoever at right back. I don't care. Someone. Let's now talk about right. Oh my God, Spartacus is here. He's gonna annoy me with his Rodrigo chat. Right. Okay. But again, let's put that aside. Let's say it doesn't matter. We sign a right back anyway. It's not a problem. It's fine. Let's also say the homegrown problem isn't a problem. It's fine. Even though both of those two things are problems, BT dubs. Let's not put that under the bridge or whatever the term is. But for a moment, let's do that. Where is he playing? What is it that Rodrigo offers that our current wide players do not? What are his traits that Marmoush and Doku, between the two of them, do not cover? Tell me. That's my question. Now, that's not rhetorical. That is a legitimate question. The answer is nothing. There is nothing that Rodrigo provides that a combination of Doku and Marmoush do not provide. That is an objective fact. And actually, it is a rhetorical question. I changed my mind. It is a rhetorical question because that is a statement of reality and not an actual subjective one. I changed my mind. That is rhetorical. Don't actually give me your answers. Let's put that aside as well, though. Let's put that all aside as well. Let's say he does offer something. Let's say I'm missing a trick. Saying I'm missing a trick. And let's park that to one side. Thank you for following, matey. I hate you so much, Spartacus. I hate you so much. Because again, the answer is nothing. So where does he play? That's the question. Where does he play for City? He does not want to play at right wing. He does not want to play at right wing. Because that's not his best position. If he's going to leave Real Madrid, it is not going to be to play in a position that is not his. So don't tell me he can play at right wing. If you want a right winger, sign a right winger. I don't know who that would be. I don't want a winger, so I haven't scouted that area. But if you want a player to play at right wing, get a right winger. That's the first thing to say. Before anyone dares say, oh, just use him as a bench player. Okay, now if that was the case, I would totally agree with you. If he was happy to come in and barely and not start and just be an option, I'd be with you. I'd be totally with you. Who here thinks that Rodrigo, for like a fee of 80 to 100 million quid, is leaving Real Madrid to chill on the bench at City? It's not happening. He's going to be being paid starting wages. That means our starting point, is he starts. So it's not, you can't say to me, it's a squad game, he'll get lots of action, There are some players who are starters, there are some players who are squad players. He would not be coming in as a squad player. That is our starting point. So it's not a case of just rotate. No. You don't sign a player like him on the wages he would be on to be a rotational player. It doesn't happen. He wouldn't be happy with it either. He wouldn't sign for us either if it happened. So right wing is out of the question for that perspective. Let's touch on, well, he can play at 10. We've just signed Cherki. We've got Foden who can play there. We've got Bob who can play there. We've got Reinders who can play in the more advanced areas. If you want to sign a 10, sign a 10. Don't sign a wide player to play at 10. Don't sign someone who describes himself as a left winger to play at 10. Sign a 10 to play at 10. We just signed Cherki. 10 conversation is meaningless to me. That's irrelevant. The area's covered. So don't worry about that. That leaves one other position. And that is left wing. Okay? Now let's now consider what sort of left-sided player is Rodrigo. Is he a touchline winger? No, he isn't. Right, interesting. So he's going to have to be partnered by probably someone like a Knight Nori in order to drift into the more central zones so that he can be close to goal, so that he can be more of a central threat and impact play where he wants to impact it, rather than being a touchline winger getting chalk in his boots. That's the sort of player Rodrigo is when he plays out on that left side for Real Madrid. That is his best position. That is his best position. Who have I just described there? If you remember, oh, do we even have the emote for that anymore? I may have removed it. Who have I just described there? Exactly, Pep. He's an inside forward like Marmoush, says Pep. Now, I don't know if I go as far as inside forward, but certainly he's someone who wants to drift more centrally. And that is the end of the conversation. That is the end of the conversation. Because now it has turned into, do you play Rodrigo or Marmoush? And that is not a conversation. And that's where it ends. You can't facilitate both of them in the same side and allow them to be in their most natural positions in the same team. I am not having it. You can't play... There he is. There he is. King Omar. He's even got his own emote. Does Rodrigo have his own emote on this channel? I don't fucking think so. Hold that. Hold that. Yeah? Rodri, no. Rodri, no. The two would not be able to play in their best positions and coexist with one another. It can't happen. It would work if you play Marmoush off the right. Ugh. I gagged at that. Even saying that, I gagged at the concept of that. It fundamentally doesn't work. Unless you believe that Rodrigo is a better footballer than Marmoush and deserves to play over Marmoush. He doesn't. He's not good enough. He's not as good as Marmoush. It's one or the other. And if we hadn't have signed Marmoush, I would be all over the Rodrigo signing. I'd be all over it. I'd love it. Be great. Wonderful player. Versatile forwards. Fantastic. Inside forward option off that left side with a proper left back pushing up to provide the width there. But we did sign Marmoush. For a lot of money. For a lot of money. Do you think that Omar Marmoush is not going to be being paid a lot of money? Starting money? The answer is yes. What you don't do when building a squad is sign two players in the exact same position. Sorry. What you don't do when you are building a squad is sign two star players on starting wages for a starting transfer fee when they can only occupy the same areas on the pitch without massively minimizing one of them. That is not how you build a competent squad. If you want Rodrigo, all you are saying is, I do not believe in Marmoush. Because there is no world in which the two of them can coexist successfully. Unless Rodrigo plays in a totally random position like right wing, and that's a position he wants to escape, sign a right winger then. Sign a right winger then. Sign a natural right winger rather than a left winger who can play on the right. Makes zero sense. Makes zero squad building sense. And I'll repeat. Where's my right back? Where's my right back, Pep? Where is my right back, Viana? Where is my right back, Ferran? Where? I feel like I'm having a crisis here every time I talk about Rodrigo. And I thought the rumours had died. I thought they were done. Shut up, bitchy goat. Rodrigo's better in cutting back and drifting than Marmoush. But Pep, who's the better player? Answer me that question in one word. Who is the better player between Marmoush and Rodrigo? And there's your answer. And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. What if Pep makes it work? Based on precedent, it would not work. You tell me how it would work and I'll be interested. and I'll be interested. But what is gained by having Rodrigo and Marmoush on the pitch at the same time? What is it that Rodrigo is offering? Marmoush right now, but Rodrigo higher ceiling. So why am I signing a worse player, Pep? Do you understand? Do you understand my difficulty with this? Why am I signing an inferior player to play over Marmoush? Why would I do that? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. When he plays for Real Madrid, is this a joke? There's no way people really think that Rodrigo's better than Marmoush. And this is why I did that tweet where I said, Rodrigo's not as good as some people think. And he's not. He's a good player. Bordering on a very good player. I wouldn't say elite. He's a very good player, actually, at times. But he's not Marmoush. He's not Omar. He's not Omar. It ain't happening. All of those factors boil into one hunk of shit. You can't make me eat this shit. You're not gonna make. I'm not gonna just sit down and get fucked by Rodrigo like all of you guys, yeah? I'm not gonna lie down and get fucked. It ain't happening. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about now. I'm delirious. I didn't say Rodrigo shit. Hello? I didn't say shit. Calm down. Play Rodrigo at the 10. Yeah, I also love not playing, Cherki and at the 10 as well. That's my favourite thing to do. If I want a 10, sign at 10. Don't sign a left winger to play at 10. Give me a 10 to play at 10. Oh, wait, that's what we do. We sign Cherki. That's weird. Huh? Weird. Weird. Yeah, that's crazy, innit, Jack? That is a madness. A madness. A madness. And even without talking about squad building, can't fit. We physically can't sign any other non-homegrown players. If we aren't getting Livramento, we need one slot available for a right back who's not homegrown. That means we're going to have to get rid of 2 non-homegrown players this summer. And right now, well, that doesn't look promising. Well, that doesn't look promising. So, makes no sense. Makes no sense. But why isn't he better than Rodrigo? In what world is he not better than Rodrigo? Once again, what is it Rodrigo's better at Marmoush at? What is it? It's also a moot point. We've signed Marmoush on starting salary. He's not going to just get dropped immediately. We need to think logistically here, guys. Squad building. Squad building. Squad building. Squad building. I've been chunnering. Sorry, this Rodrigo conversation's upsetting me. This had better be a clapped source. I'm going to be annoyed. I'll repeat one final time. We're going to wrap it up here. I didn't think I'd be talking about fucking Rodrigo today. I'll wrap it up here because I want to shoot off. If we sign him, I'll back him. Obviously. I'll back him. And it'll be a lovely time. Had by all. But I can't be convinced right now that he is a good signing. Given the context of the squad, given the context of the homegrown status, given the context of all our other wingers and forward players and the wages they are on, madness. This is the thing, Elder. I don't want to talk about him. I don't bring him up. You frauds in the chat did, and you forced me to talk about him. You forced me to talk about him. I don't want to. I don't want to. But yeah, here we are. And yet here we are. He's better at dribbling. I don't know what technique means. It's a very catch-all term. Positional play, again, I don't know what that means in a vacuum. That's my catchphrase right now. Essentially, Marmoush is a better, whatever term you want to use, left inside forward, whatever. He just is. Anyway, guys, I'm off. Thank you guys for watching my descent into madness once again. Fuck everyone bringing up Rodrigo. It's LB's fault, is it? Did he write the article, the little bastard? Right, oh, that's it then. That's the end of our relationship. I'm going to send him some hate mail. I'm going to take back the LNobbins shirt. And that's the end of it. That's the end of it. He's cancelled. He's cancelled. The next stream, chaps, will be tonight on Twitch. LNobbins on Twitch. Go follow me on Twitch. Go follow me on Twitch. If you want to come argue about Rodrigo and try to explain why he's so fucking good, come over to the Twitch. LNobbins. Twitch.tv/... That's the wrong exclamation mark. I'm such a twat. There we go. Come over to the Twitch. LNobbins. Twitch.tv/LNobbins. If you're not a twat, come over and watch Red Dead Redemption 2 around. It'll be after the We Are the South Stand show, actually. We Are the South Stand starting at around 6. And then Twitch stream will be starting at around 7. So join me for that, please. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. I'm going to go now. If you don't join, then you're a United fan. So come on, mate. I'll catch you all next time.